Hello and welcome to the Qigong series of instructional videos. My name is Jeff Cote and I am the Occidental Taoist. In this video, we're going to be covering the third movement from the Taoist Elixir Qigong series. This movement is called Opening the Temple Doors. As we begin to describe the process, you'll see why it's called that. The first thing I want to talk about very briefly is that in the beginning of this sequence, we're going to be working a little bit with the Meridian Flow Qigong, which we have another video that teaches the entire series of. But we'll do a short instruction here, and if you want further instruction, I recommend you go to that video, that video course, and pick that one up as well. It's an excellent Qigong video, and I think that these are sort of a yin and yang pairing, these two video series. But in this particular one, we're going to be working with the yin flow from the feet up through and into the torso, and how the yin meridians draw energy from the earth to create our rooted stability. Okay, and so there are three meridians. In short, there are three meridians of yin meridians of the legs. They start on the instep and the sole of the foot. They flow up the inside of the legs, up through the pelvis and into the root of the body, through the pelvic floor, and up the central channel, all the way up to and through the middle dantian. But they also flow up the front of the torso to the rib cage in two places and up to the collarbone. Okay. Again, more detail can be found in that other video. But here we want to get a sense in the first movement of our hands, almost as if we're just encouraging that flow to come up on the first part of the movement, on the inhale. And then we're going to turn our palms out on the pause between inhale and exhale. On the exhale, we're going to push our hands out and open and down. Okay, so that's the basic movement of the sequence. That's all the basic body regulation here. So the hands come up on the inhale, on pause between inhale and exhale, they turn out. On the exhale, they push out, open, and down. Now, the mind regulation, just like I've talked about in the general regulations, we've got this whole sort of wide-angle lens focus on the whole of the body and its entire felt experience. At the same time here, we're going to actually add a little bit of intention to our action. And the intention here is going to go along with sort of a visualization that one of my teachers gave to me on these types of Qigongs. You know, he said, if you go to one of the old Chinese-style temples, they have these giant doors, and the doors are thick and they're very heavy and they're well made, but they're kept really well. Like the hinges are just perfect, and they're really smooth moving. So there's a sense of weight, but it doesn't take a lot to get them moving. Right? And we want that. And the reason for that is, if we imagine we're going up to these giant temple doors and we're going to push them open, standing in this position, we're going to have to actually root in our legs and use the power of our legs a bit to push. And that's part of the key here. That's part of the mind regulation of how we're going about the body. This is how the mind and body together in their regulation are working to create the action, to induce qi in a particular way. So we've got that yin flow up. We root in the legs as we get ready, and we press as much with our legs as we do with our arms as we push open, imagining these big temple doors opening up. Now, one of the great visualizations one of my teachers gave me to go along with this is, he told me about a temple he went to where he was standing facing outward, and if you look out the open doors, you see mountains and clouds. So I want you to imagine as if you're opening these temple doors onto a mountain scene, right, with clouds in the mountains. Okay? And that's going to stimulate a certain flow of qi and a certain mind state. Okay, so again, the tongue lightly touches the roof of the mouth. We're going to go through this sequence together a few times just to get the sequence down. And again, we're going to flow from the feet up. On the inhale, we imagine that qi flowing right up those yin meridians. Pause between inhale and exhale, turn the palms out. On the exhale, rooting with the legs and pushing those temple doors open onto a great mountain vista scene where you can see into the horizon. Then you repeat on the next inhale. Rotating the arms down and down. Notice these little elements. So we come up. We press out. Notice the elbows are back, and then the elbows turn down, and that pulls the arms down. We're going to do one more. Expanding out. And rotating down. So as you can see, that one's pretty simple. The key is in the visualization of actually moving something heavy and then having that opening into a grand open vista. It starts to create a change in the nervous system and in the mind. Okay? And in conjunction with, again, the rhythmic breathing and the regulation of the body, you stimulate the chi flow in particular ways. Right? Thank you for joining me on this video.